Nobody asked, and we answered. Clash of Wrestling Titans, Vince Russo versus Jim Cornette, this time on Falls Count Anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Falls Count Anywhere, brand new episode, and ChatGPT is at it again. We're asking it more questions, this time booking the feud that nobody wants to see or everybody wants to see. I don't know.
You tell me if you'd want to see this.
I mean, the way these guys talk about each other, especially Jim Cornette, how he talks about Vince Russo, I feel like we've already seen it. But so this is an actual, you went to ChatGPT and you asked them to actually book a feud between Russo and Cornette. Is that correct?
I asked 2 questions.
Okay.
The first question I asked was, this is quote, write a fictional professional wrestling storyline outlining the intense rivalry between Vince Russo and Jim Cornette.
Okay.
That's all I gave it. And it wrote out a 6-episode summary. And then after that summary, I asked it to write a script for a heated exchange between Russo and Cornette in episode 1. So it just kind of says in episode 1, like, there's a heated exchange. And I was like, I want to know what that heated exchange would be. So I asked it to write it, and it wrote me a heated exchange.
Okay.
Which I will share with you guys. So, should I just get into it?
Just get into it. Let's go.
The title.
We gotta have pictures up here of Cornette versus Russo, the blood feud.
So again, the question is, and maybe we can put it below, write a fictional professional wrestling storyline outlining the intense rivalry between Vince Russo and Jim Cornette. This is what ChatGPT gave me. Episode 1, the challenge begins. Setting, a live broadcast of a show, a fictional show called Wrestling Unleashed. Okay. The camera zooms in on the ring where Vince Russo stands with a microphone.
Already a bad start.
He addresses the audience, denouncing the old-school wrestling mentality, claiming it's outdated and that he's the future of professional wrestling.
Oh, my gosh.
The crowd boos, but Russo smirks, reveling in the heat. Suddenly, Jim Cornette's music hits.
He comes out like Hulk Hogan.
Cornette storms the ring, tennis racket in hand. This is such a delightful mix of old and new. He grabs a mic and counters Russo's claims, defending the traditional values of wrestling. The two engage in a heated exchange, their voices rising above the crowd's noise. Cornette, quote, "You think you're the future, Russo? The only thing you're good at is ruining this business. You want to prove you're better? Let's settle this in the ring." Russo smirks and accepts the challenge, setting the stage for a series of matches where each will choose a wrestler to represent their philosophy.
Okay. That could be interesting.
Episode 2, the first battle. These are the worst episode names ever. The setting is the following week's episode of Wrestling Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Cornette introduces... Well, hang on. Sorry. Are you interested in this?
When you said wrestlers, they pick wrestlers to based on their philosophies, yeah, that got my ears perked up.
I don't want to ruin it for you, but they don't pick actual wrestlers.
Oh.
All right. Jim Cornette introduces his representative, a technically skilled, no-nonsense wrestler named Jack the Technician Taylor.
Oh my God.
Taylor is a throwback to the old days, focusing on pure wrestling skills and sportsmanship. So who would that be today? Because I have an idea in my head of who that would be.
Jack the Technician?
Yes, who is a throwback to the old days, focusing on pure wrestling skills and sportsmanship.
Someone that Cornette would like, probably a Dax Harwood.
Okay, I was thinking Bryan Danielson.
I don't know if Cornette likes him. My mind went to him first.
He might not, but this is who.
Yeah.
That is Bryan. Dax might fit that a similar description of that, but he's in a tag team.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking Bryan Danielson first.
Vince Russo introduces his pick, a flashy, controversial superstar named Max the Controversy Steele. Steele is all about charisma, high-risk moves, and pushing the envelope.
MJF?
Who has charisma and high-risk moves? Because I'm like Darby Allin, but he doesn't have any charisma.
Yeah.
Who has
I would think
charisma?
MJF. He does some high-risk stuff sometimes.
Maybe an MJF, because MJF will do some high-risk stuff. Sammy Guevara.
Oh, there you go. Sammy.
He's a little riskier and a little
Yep.
less charisma. Maybe a Sammy Guevara. Is there anybody else that's kind of like on the edge? Because Vince Russo was known for doing like the crazy reality TV type shit. Like early Miz, maybe. No, because he wasn't.
no.
He wasn't involved in any of that kind
And
of stuff.
he never did anything high risk.
The controversy.
I mean, if you're going back to the WCW days, I'd say like a Vampiro or something, you know?
Yeah, it kind of has to be kind of gimmicky, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Gimmicky and high risk. Well, Darby Allin, but again,
Or any
he doesn't have
ECW
charisma.
wrestler.
Almost any. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Sandman or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, okay. The match is intense, showcasing the stark contrast between traditional and modern wrestling. Taylor's technical prowess keeps Steele grounded, but Steele's high-flying antics and rule-bending tactics make the match unpredictable. In the end, Steele wins through a controversial finish, using a foreign object while the referee is distracted. So typical dusty finish where the heel goes over. Episode 3, Escalation. This is a backstage segment during an episode of Wrestling Unleashed. Cornette is furious about the previous match's outcome, accusing Russo of corrupting the sport. Russo mocks Cornette's whining, furthering the animosity. They agree to a rematch, but this time with a special stipulation to ensure no one is cheating. A steel cage match. Episode 4, The Cage Match Showdown. This is the main event of an episode of Wrestling Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, no PPV, no PLE. This is all on the weekly program. The steel cage match between Taylor and Steele is brutal. The cage confines Steele's high-flying maneuvers, but also gives him opportunities to use the structure to his advantage. Taylor's technical skills dominate, but Steele's cunning and willingness to break the rules make him a formidable opponent. As the match reaches its climax, Steele attempts to climb out of the cage. Taylor catches him, and the two battle on top of the cage. In a stunning move, Taylor suplexes Steele from the top of the cage, leading to both men crashing to the mat.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor recovers first and climbs out to win.
Okay. So now they're one apiece.
Episode 5, Personal Stakes. This is not a cooking show. Post-match interview. This is a post-match interview. Cornette celebrates Taylor's victory, but Russo isn't done. He ambushes Cornette backstage, leading to a chaotic brawl.
Ooh.
The physical confrontation between Russo and Cornette shocks the wrestling world, making it clear the feud is deeply personal. Episode 6, The Final Showdown. Okay, here's the setting. Finally, a pay-per-view event. It's called WrestleFest, the ultimate battle.
The ultimate battle?
WrestleFest.
Wow.
So derivative. WrestleFest. Okay. The rivalry culminates in a high-stakes match. Cornette versus Russo in a street fight,
Ooh.
with their chosen wrestlers barred from ringside.
Ooh.
The match is gritty and intense, with both men using every weapon at their disposal. I love how this paragraph starts. Despite his age, Cornette's passion and old-school toughness give him an edge. Russo fights dirty, but Cornette's resilience shines through. The climax sees Cornette swinging his signature tennis racket, hitting Russo and finally pinning him for the victory. Epilogue. Now you know we're getting fictional. Epilogue. Respect earned.
Oh, God. Never happened.
Setting the aftermath on Wrestling Unleashed. Cornette stands in the ring, bruised but victorious, and offers a hand to Russo to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Russo begrudgingly accepts. The two men exchange a tense but respectful handshake, acknowledging each other's impact on the wrestling world.
All right. I was with you up until that point.
The rivalry
Never
has
happened.
the rivalry has ended, but the storyline leaves an indelible mark on wrestling history. Title card: Clash of Wrestling Titans, Russo versus Cornette. The legacy lives on. Fade to black.
No, that wasn't bad.
That was pretty good, except for the last
part. Yeah,
that last part.
there would
you're like,
never ever be respect.
yeah,
between them, ever.
he spits in his eye or something.
All right, now I want to see a follow-up to this. I want to either a couple ways you can go with it. Either replace the fake wrestlers with actual wrestlers, see if that could come up with that. And I want to see AI images of, what it's describing. I think that would be cool. Kind of like, like doing it on a video game or something.
Yeah, that could be cool. Or actually, future episode ideas, we could have it we might be able to have it turn us into wrestlers. We put our picture in and it transforms us.
That would be cool.
Could be interesting. Okay, so then my question was, heated exchange from episode 1. Give me a little more details on this heated exchange.
Oh, that wasn't the detailed explanation? I thought that was pretty good.
Oh, that was pretty good, but if you go all the way back to the beginning of the first episode, which was titled The Challenge Begins, it says, where is it? It says, the two engage in a heated exchange, their voices rising above the crowd. So my thought was, this is pretty detailed, but what happens in that heated exchange? So write a script for the heated exchange in episode 1. This is what I got back.
You got to do Cornette's voice for this.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I can do that. That Tennessee Valley accent. And I don't think I could do a New York
son of a bitch.
I don't think I could do a Vince Russo either with that heavy New York.
Bro.
Yeah, yo. Bro. The camera zooms in on Vince Russo standing in the ring with a microphone, surrounded by a hostile crowd. Vince Russo says, smirking, "You know what? I've been hearing a lot of talk lately. A lot of people saying the way I do things is wrong. That I'm ruining this business. But you know what? The ratings don't lie. The people are tuning in because they want excitement. They want controversy. And they want Vince Russo." The crowd boos loudly. Russo revels in the reaction, pacing around the ring. "This ain't your daddy's wrestling anymore. This is the future. And you can either get on board or get out of the way." Suddenly, Jim Cornette's music hits. The crowd erupts and cheers as Cornette storms down the ramp, tennis racket in hand. He slides into the ring and grabs a microphone facing Russo. "Hold on just 1 minute, Russo. You think you're the future of wrestling? The only thing you've done is turn this sport into a circus. You want to talk about ratings? Let's talk about respect. Let's talk about tradition." The crowd cheers in agreement. Cornette steps closer to Russo, pointing his tennis racket at him. "The men and women who built this business did it with blood, sweat, and tears, not with cheap stunts and soap opera drama. You're not the future, Russo. You're a cancer, and I'm here to cut you out." Vince Russo mockingly, "Oh, come on, Cornette. You're living in the past. Nobody cares about your so-called tradition anymore. They want to be entertained. They want unpredictability. They want drama. And that's exactly what I give them." Jim Cornette sneering, "You wouldn't know real entertainment if it slapped you in the face, Russo. How about we settle this the old-fashioned way? You pick your best guy and I'll pick mine, and we'll see who comes out on top." The crowd erupts with excitement at the challenge. Russo smirks, considering the offer. Russo nodding. "You know what, Cornette? You're on. I'll show you and all these people what the future is, and it's now. It's spelled Russo. I'll show you and all these people.
Russo.
Jim Cornette glaring. And I'll show you that no matter how much you try to destroy it, real wrestling will always prevail. Let's do this. Cornette drops the mic and glares at Russo. Russo smirks and steps back, exiting the ring as Cornette watches him with intense determination. The camera fades to black, leaving the crowd buzzing with anticipation.
Wow.
End of episode 1. So there you have it. You didn't ask for it, but we gave it to you anyways. We're all about adding value here at Falls Count Anywhere. So what do you think?
I kind of want to see it.
I think that's a mid-card feud right there.
Yeah.
I think that is a mid-card feud right there.
Bring up some newer guys that invoke their respective philosophies on wrestling. That would be pretty good.
I think, obviously it would have to be something online and streaming because Jim Cornette's promo would be much tastier. I don't know.
Much more colorful.
Much more colorful would be, would have a lot more detail, I guess, maybe. And a few more 4-letter words in it.
Mm-hmm.
That could be very funny and interesting. And the idea of the two of them ever even being in the same time zone.
Yeah, they'll never work together.
It would be funny, though, if we could, trick them to do that. That would be very funny. It'd be pretty easy to get one of them. I think if we get Russo in the ring and tell him to cut a fake promo and then have Cornette watch it backstage, Cornette might charge the ring. And that's really what we'd all pay for. Oh, that could be very good. Well, anyways.
That was pretty good.
Let us know what you thought below. What are other clashes that you want to see in the wrestling business? I mean, there are some pretty iconic disputes. There are some iconic feuds inside the wrestling business, primarily behind the scenes and in production. What are they? Let us know below, and I'd be sure to consult with ChatGPT on one or two of them.
Kevin Kelly versus Ian Riccaboni.
Ooh, that one
topical.
That one would take place inside a courtroom. On the set of The Sound of Freedom. Yeah, that could be an interesting one. In the meantime, let us know below. We'll be sure to check it out. You keep watching us, and we'll keep wrestling with the business. See you next time.